Hey everybody, I hope you had a good weekend. Um, Mine was good, productive. Did a lot of stuff around the house. Um, Mowed a few yards. Started to paint my back door. Made dinner, which is a big deal for me. All right, so let's go over this study guide. This is the bacteria study guide. After we finish bacteria, we will have a test on it. Um, then we'll start viruses. I really, really wish we would have a test tomorrow, so I'll talk to you about it when I get onto the thing. All right, so number one, bacteria is sometimes called eubacteria. The U in front of it is like the old spelling, but in our book they still talk about it. So, what does a prokaryote mean? It's Greek for before a nucleus, because you know that a prokaryote does not have a membrane bound nucleus. What are the two domains of prokaryotes? It's bacteria and archaea. Again, they'll use eubacteria, bacteria, same word. Okay. What are bacteria cell walls made of? Peptidoglycan. Okay, peptidoglycan. Where do most archaea live? Extreme environments. They're called extremophils. What are thermoacidophils? Bacteria that can survive in hot, acidic environments. I'm going to fix that right there. Oops, not that much. Where are thermoacidophils found? They're found in sulfur hot springs, thermal vents on the ocean floor, and around volcanoes. What is a halophil? Halophil. It's a bacteria that thrive in very salty environments. The halo means halogen, and the halogens all form salts, so kind of makes sense. Number 9, what are some examples of where halophils are found? They're found in high saline lakes such as the Dead Sea or Great Salt Lake. What are methanogens? They're bacteria that are obligate anaerobes. That means they have to have no oxygen. It cannot be any oxygen. And they use carbon dioxide during respiration to give off methane as a waste product. Where are methanogens found? Sewage treatment plants, bogs, swamps, and near volcanic vents. What are the three main differences between bacteria and archaea? Bacterial cells contain peptidoglycan. Archaea does not. The lipids in the plasma membranes of bacteria and archaea differ. Ribosomes of archaea are more, or ribosomes of archaea more resemble the ribosomes of eukaryotes than they do bacteria, which this was a question on the little quizzes or questions, whatever. Name two structures on the prokaryote contain genetic material. It's the nucleode and plasmid. What is a capsule? It's a layer of polysaccharides, which is basically sugars, that form around the cell wall. What functions does this capsule have? Prevents the cell from drying out, helps the cell attach to surfaces in its environment, and helps prevent the bacteria from being engulfed by white blood cells, and shelters the cell from the effects of antibiotics. What are pili? Those are hair-like structures that help bacteria cells attach to surfaces. They also serve as a bridge between cells, so they can pass on material or food or something like that. 17. What is flagella? It's the long tail-like projection with whip-like or propeller motion that helps a cell move. Think of a sperm, but sperm is eukaryotes, but think of a sperm. 18. What are the three shapes of bacteria, and describe each? Cocci are spherical or round. Bacilli are rod-shaped, and Sporili are spiral, or also called spirochetes. How do scientists classify bacteria? The composition of their cell walls. What are the two main types of bacteria? You either have gram-positive or gram-negative. And what's the difference between gram-positive and gram-negative? Gram-positive has a large layer of peptidoglycan that stains purple. Positive peptidoglycan, purple. Gram-negative has a lipid a layer that covers the peptidoglycan, so it stains pink. Negative, not so much, right? Peptidoglycan, and it stains pink. What are the two ways antibiotics can kill bacteria? They block the ability to build new cell wall material and block protein synthesis. So they can't make proteins and then they can't build new cell walls. What is an autotroph? It's an organism that captures sunlight to make its own food. Plants, right? What is a heterotroph? Organisms that can't make its own food and gets its energy from feeding on other organisms. Okay, so here's another classification of it. Um, what is a heterotroph? It's organisms that can't make its own food and gets its energy from feeding on other. Sorry, I just read heterotroph. Chemotroph. It obtains energy through chemical sources such as sulfur. Okay, so this should be chemoautotroph. Autotroph. They get their chemical food through sulfur and stuff. What's an obligate anaerobe? Obligate means they cannot, it has to be one way or the other, cannot live in oxygen environment. So anaerobe means no oxygen, so it absolutely cannot live with oxygen. An obligate anaerobe means it has to have oxygen to the environment to survive. What is a facultative anaerobe? That means it can live with or without. So facultative means it can do either way. Obligate means only one way. And then the anaerobe means no oxygen, or the aerobe means oxygen.